We're here today through Free Tools Boxing. We've been managed to put this interview on today, which is father and son interview with your career, isn't it? What do you think to that? You've had some interviews in the past, but how do you feel about being interviewed by your son?
Yeah, it'll be alright, so long as you don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up. So obviously we've been working together, haven't we? On putting Free Tools Boxing events.
Yeah,
on.
you've done a good job, haven't you? Sell them out in about 3 days, don't you?
Yeah, so we've done 3, haven't we? So
yeah.
I think over the course of the 3, I think we've had just shy of 2,000 attendees now, haven't we? And we've had 31 fights. And so your role is you do all the training, don't you, for the for the fights? How have you found it? Why are you smiling? Is it weird being interviewed by me?
Different.
Yeah. So we've done 3 events. In total, I think we've had about 2,000 attendees. 31 fights.
Yeah.
And your role is you've been the trainer, haven't you, for the fights?
Yeah, train them, yeah.
So they get 8. So they train with you for 8 weeks, don't they? You train both camps. How have you found it?
I found it good, yeah. All good lads. We've only had like 3 stoppages, haven't we?
Yeah, you do, because you match all the fights up as well, don't you? So you've done.
Yeah, but I've had 1 or 2 when they haven't trained as hard, so it'd be their fault, and they've got beat, haven't they? So.
Yeah, where do you think the lads who take part, where do you think they actually slip up then? The lads who get beat, is it just through the training or?
Well, they just maybe think they're better than they are, or they're fitter than they are, but you just got to train, haven't you?
We've had a few who were like naturally like hard cases and all, but then it's totally different in it, being able to fight out, on the street or fight in the ring.
Yeah, that's it, innit? Yeah.
But do you reckon you was a bit of an hard case, was you?
No. Well, a kid says to me before, he said, you might be alright in the ring, but not in the street. I said, well, when I fight in the street, you can usually knock him out in the street, you know what I mean, and get beat in the ring, but you don't want to be fighting anyway, do you? The only time you want to be fighting is when you get paid for it. Yeah,
that's it, yeah. And it's for the lads who box on the show, it's more about having a scrap, is it? It's about a physical challenge and doing it as like a big challenge for themselves.
They can do it for the charity cause, if they want to do it for their own charity. Otherwise, they get paid for doing
just earn a bit of money, don't they? That's it. Yeah. Especially like say the one you get a few where it's like New Year's resolution, they want to sort the fitness out, and then they go and have a fight.
But like you say, some can get, if you sell so many tickets, you can get a good payday. You get a lot of money done for it.
Yeah.
We learn them how to box, you know what I mean? Because you've got to learn how to box. And luckily enough, I used to train with, when I turned pro, I was training with Prince Nassim, Johnny Nelson, or you get some of the best boxers in the world. So then you can pass 1 or 2 things on you've learned. You don't want to pass everything on what you've learned in case you ever go pro.
That's it. That's one of the. To be honest, sir, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast or this interview today. I've put on my notes here that there's like three, 4 reasons as to why I wanted to do it and interview you. One of them would be whether people like it or not. I think, obviously I'm a bit biased, but I think you are part of Hull's sport industry. I think when come a time when you're no longer here, when I'm no longer here, people will still be reading about you, I think, because you have we'll go through it, you've got a really bizarre, unique career, haven't you, in the sport, and I don't think there will be characters like yourselves, in modern day boxing. Another reason, obviously, it's a bit of a legacy project for the family. We don't care if hundreds of people watch this video or just the
don't
family.
Mind,
no, it don't matter. It's when
if you've got a young another Harry Bove or something,
Mini Bove can watch it, can't they? Won't be happening anytime soon though. And then I think as well, you're obviously labelled as a journeyman, which you was towards the end of your career, wasn't you?
Yeah, the end of my career, yeah.
But I think being a journeyman back, I don't know, even 15 years ago was totally different to modern day journeyman. I think the modern day journeymen aren't even expected, they don't win any fights, do they?
I know. Well, kid from Hull, he's a nice kid, but he's, I think he's had 100 fights now, and he's I don't think he's lucky if he's won like 5. He's lucky if he's won 5 or something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it makes I lost 102. But when you're fighting Derek Chisora, 4 stone heavier, none of the heavyweights will fight him. I mean, I wasn't an heavyweight, I was overweight. You know what I mean? But you're going to get a lot of losses. But I'd won 52 fights, which is more than anyone had won in about the last 40, 50, 60 years. I think Johnny Nelson, I think he might have won 51 or something.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fights. So you've still won them. But when you're fighting David A., Derek Chisora, Victor Cordoba, who lost to Michael Nunn, all these, Eddie Small, the European champion, and Mark Prince, all these.
That's it. So when people call you a journeyman, does it offend you, or do you just take it on the chin and say, yeah,
no,
it
don't offend me. No, it don't offend me at all. And it's all right. It's just that at one point when I was fighting for a British title, I got like a little run on. Where I boxed one time when I boxed Bill Scott. He'd stopped me on sports night when no one had fighting, but I wasn't really fit. He caught me with an uppercut, so damaged my nose there. Then another time, I was on holiday with your mum, and I did a bit of running. Then they offered me to fight him again, so I boxed him again, and he beat me, and not one of my teeth out. Then when I got on this run for the British title, he had a big fight coming up, and I boxed him again, and I beat him.
Yeah.
So not many
And
kids...
it derailed his plans,
that was
didn't it?
Yeah, it's like knackered him. But the thing is, not a lot of kids would have boxed. He could have stopped him, beat him again. But I boxed him 3 times, and the third time I got on a good run, I beat him.
Yeah. No, well, that's decent, isn't it? So another reason why we're doing the podcast is because I've listened to a few times that you've been interviewed, and I think sometimes you don't. You tell me these stories at home. I know you've got tons of stories, but I think when somebody who doesn't know you's interviewing you, they don't know when to say, do you know what? Tell us a bit more about that, because you've definitely got a story there. And I feel like some of the interviews you've done, no offence to the people who've interviewed you, they just haven't been able to get the best out of you, have they? Really? Do you find it hard being interviewed, or?
Might do. It's just.
Because I'll be telling, if you give me a crap answer today, I'll be telling you off. If you've got your fingers in your mouth, I'll be after you.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Don't feel I've been badly.
So, here's one for you then. So, right, let's get some stats up. So, you had a career spanning 18 years. You fought 166 times. You won 52 fights, lost 105 fights, and drew 9 fights. That's according to a box rec. You fought an average of 9 bouts a year. So that's, just short of once a month, isn't it? And you fought for the Commonwealth and British titles. And you fought outside of the UK, which, by the way, wasn't that common, was it, back when you were boxing? It wasn't a common thing to go abroad, was it? You fought outside of the UK 19 times. No, on 19 separate occasions. So now I've, give you a bit of an overview as to your career. What do you think to that? What do you think when you look back?
Yeah, well, like I said, you don't realise you've been boxed abroad 19 times. It's always a good times when I boxed abroad. Got some.
Yeah, we'll come on to that. But in terms of the overview of your career, then in terms of how many you won, how many fights, the fact that I was looking at Luke Campbell's record, just out of interest. Obviously, he was doing these massive world title fights, in Vegas, America, etc. But I don't think he's even fought 30 fights. So, for you to do 166 or whatever it was, it's just mad crazy.
Oh yeah,
mad
well,
really.
He had to have many fights, did he? He's earned all the money, hasn't he?
No, that's it. That's where you went. That's where you went wrong, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, with the difference for me, I was with like Brendan Ingle. You had Prince Nassim in the camp, and it would have been me. It could have been Glyn Rhodes, Wayne Windle, another 10, 11 kids in the gym training, and. The most I ever got for a fight notice was 5 weeks when I fought for the British title. So,
and that's mad, isn't it? Now when you
5 weeks,
when you look at some of the modern day pros, I think they have about a 3-month camp.
I mean, even Tommy Coyle, like say Tommy and Luke, and that, they had about 2 or 3 months notice.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 weeks not me for the British title. It's just.
Well, that's what I was saying. And some of the pros now, they have about a 12-week camp. they have the fight, and then I think they have a 12-week celebrating that they've won the fight.
Them white collar kids, we're giving them like 8 weeks' notice, aren't we?
Yeah, so more than you did. And like I said, we've got our next events in April, and you summer training now, aren't they, Sean? They've got a lot more.
Well,
notice.
I boxed Michael Sprott an hour's notice. He knocked Todd Harrison out, ended up being British champion. I boxed him about an hour's, might be maybe 2.5 hours notice. They rang us up, said, "Oh, will you fight Michael Sprott?" No one would fight him, and I went down there, beat me on points.
Yeah, just an hour's notice.
And I wouldn't have got a lot of money
and you'd have probably been in the pub the night before, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right, what was you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't have really got a lot of money because I wouldn't really. Say if they offered me something, half the time I might have took it instead of being like Steve Pollard. Steve Pollard, who's passed away now, but Steve, he's a great kid. He was more of a, if you offered him so much, he'd want, oh no, I want this.
Yeah, and you had that before, didn't you? Because didn't Brendan Ingle want you to fight somebody? And you said, oh no, I ain't doing that. And he came back 3 times, and the money increased every time, didn't it?
Yeah, well, he ran me up one time on sports night. Wednesday night used to have sports night, and a big programme. Used to have the football on or boxing. And this fight was going to be on. I said, oh, do you want to fight Bruce Scott? He says, I got you a fight against Bruce Scott. Do you want to... I said, how much? It mentions so much money. I said, I ain't fighting him for that. He said, oh, I'll try and get you a bit more money. I says, all right. And comes back after. I got you a bit more money. It tells me. I said, nah. And then I got you this money. You want to fight him? And I'm fighting him, but the money's still not for what you get on sports.
So
I never got like a proper receipt. I just got a piece of yellow paper. You know what I mean? So,
do you reckon he was taking more than that 25% then?
I reckon. Well, I won't say. No, I mean,
or do you reckon that?
He's all right, Brendan. But I'm just saying. I think anyone who knows the game knows what goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you know I mean? Obviously we've skipped a bit ahead, but it doesn't matter. But we'll go back to before you was a professional then. So obviously growing up in the 70s, 80s in Hull, how did you get into boxing then?
Well, I always liked boxing. My dad liked boxing, didn't he? He knows he's real clued up on the boxing. But one time I was going to go to army barracks or boxing. I didn't go to army barracks. And I went boxing. I bust this kid's nose and lip, and just went ever since.
Yeah. I
was playing football all the time, so I used to play for City Boys and that. But then I started boxing when I was 10. Then I think we used to go twice a week. Then when I went to All Boys, I went 3 times a week. So I used to be walking through, I lived in town, didn't I? So I used to be walking through town and you'd see them all going to Tiffany's disco dancing. All the kids my age were going disco dancing or a couple of years older while I was going to the gym, you know what I mean? So
yeah. And I saw a photo on Facebook the other day of your old football team, and you were actually, I think that was under 13s or something, but you was actually one of the smallest lads, weren't you? So you weren't like a big kid, was you? Was you one of the smallest going to the gym as well, or?
No, I wouldn't have been that small, but yeah, they were just a bit bigger, weren't they, Wes and that?
Yeah. So in terms of actual like pro boxing at the time, obviously long before my time, but who was it? Who were the pro fighters? The fights you watched growing up then, what inspired you?
Well, I used to like Thomas Sains and that. Thomas Sains, Sugar Ray Leonard and all that lot. I went to one or two a pro show in Hull.
Who were the old Hull pros then? Even before you, was there any ones that stood out? Or
well, there was a kid called Ricky Biermont. He was good. Then there was Steve Pollard who ended up training. He had a couple of fights. Steve, he was all right. But then I used to work on the door at Henry's nightclub.
Yeah.
When I was 21, Henry's was like one of the roughest nightclubs in Hull.
Yeah.
And I worked for him, Roger Ty. And Roger won the Commonwealth title or something. He won something, but he was real nice, Roger.
Yeah.
He died a few years ago, but he's an hard man.
Yeah.
He's arguing with someone outside one time, and I won't say any names, but the kid was arguing with him. And next minute, Roger said, "Roger, calm down." Next minute, this kid hit him with his best punch, and Roger just says to him, he said, "I'll give you that one."
Just stood there and took it.
He just said, "I'll give you that one." He didn't hit him back.
Did you get any trouble on the doors then?
Yeah, you did it anyway.
I think the bouncers back then got away with a lot more than they do now though.
No. To be honest, no. To be honest, back there when we was bouncers, we was like proper bouncers where you took your way out of it. You know what I mean? We could all look after ourselves, but we had a good team. We had it was like we always could look after ourselves.
So you wouldn't just be bullies?
Well, no, you shouldn't be buddies. A good doorman should be able to just talk the situation down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them now, I mean, I don't know if a lot of them are on the old steroids and they are like bullies, aren't they? Because there's a lot of kids like your age who I know was being like filled in one of them nightclubs and all, isn't they? You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
It's a bit bad, but it's just, it's just bad.
Was that so? When I read your book, I think the first.
Oh, that's what I did one time. I got into a couple of scraps like when I was a young kid, unfortunately. Oh, one kid. I was walking through town to meet this lass before, and she was with my sister. And there's 3 kids stood there, and they'd been in the nightclub the night before, and they just said something to me. They said, "Hey, no bed in all this lot," and I'm alright to swear, aren't I?
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
They said, "No bed here," and I said, "Oh, fuck off." This is come on then, come on, you idiot, and all this. I said, "No," I said, "Look," I said, "There's 3 here." He said, "Oh no, just me." So this kid walked across, a bit cross-eyed. So I just hit him with a right hand, and he went down. Then the next kid came, just hit him with a right hand, and he went down. Then this little stocker one came, so I closed my eyes, bang, hit him. There's all 3 of them laid out. Then this couple walked past, and this woman said, "Oh, look what he's done to him." And the bloke said, "Oh, shut up, you idiot." He said, "There's 3 of them." If they'd come at the same time,
you'd have been knackered.
Come at the same time, you'd have been knackered. But another time, I got into another scuffle. Only just saying this story, it winds me up a bit. And there's a kid in there. I mean, if the kid, he'll know who he is if he hears this. And we started fighting in Gingerman. And he says, "Oh, so we got broke up." He says, "Come on then, me and you back in St Stephen's Square." Just back in St Stephen's Square. It's gone now. So I started walking with my mate, Paul Spose. And he was with his mate. And I was the fastest kid in the school, you know what I mean? The next minute, this bottle smashes on the wall. And Paul says, "Run, son, he smashed the bottle." So I could have just ran off. But I didn't. I hid round the corner, I dived out on him. So with that,
you've still got a mark, haven't you?
So with that, this police van goes past, so we end up getting off and go separate ways. So I go to hospital. I just bought a brand new Pringle jumper. And I'm laid in hospital here. And the nurse comes. Then she said, "Oh, where's all this blood from?" At this side. He glassed me on this side, and he glassed me on this side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. I was saying, in your book, I think it's a book about your boxing career. I think the first 3 chapters about you fighting around town. Were you the trouble causer, or was it the fact that you
never started a fight in my life, but it's just sticking up for your mates and that, and I. But it's just this kid, it just winds me up because I see him sometimes. He goes in COD. And I feel like saying to us, I think, why don't we just, I mean, I'm 53, 50, and I just feel like, so we'll go on. I want an apology. An apology, or I think we'll just have a straightener, because it just winds me up. It's glassed me on both my arms.
Well, you should, that's you done for the April then. You come 3-2's boxing, you can be in the ring and settle your old feud.
Well, to be honest, I should fight anyway because I'd sell loads of tickets. I'll fight on one of them.
That's it. So, what was I going to say then? So, obviously, from you just saying that then, you had plenty of fights before you even got in the ring. Do you know? How was the amateur scene then? What was the career? I don't know much about your amateur career at all. Did you? Because you have some who have tons of fights staying there for years.
I had about 90 amateur fights, but the thing is, I trained at Kingston. But at the time, fish trades, I mean, St Paul's is the best club now. But they're all like, they've gone there. But at the time when I was a young kid, fish trades was easily the best. That Billy Hall and Ken McKenzie and that fish trades was the best. But I was at Kingston, and you had a trainer there, Billy Sanderson.
Yeah.
And he ended up being like a granddad, you know what I mean? He got a medal off the Queen, he's a great trainer. But he got a bit of dementia. So I was going to fights and I wasn't really getting fights. So then I ended up leaving there and I went to Old Boys. in town, down there, Waterhouse Lane. You used to go training every night, and all the prostitutes just stood there and that. You know what I mean? So I used to go there. But he was a great bloke, Billy Sanderson. But then I was with Dave Grantley at Old Boys, and that was good. Went to France, boxed in France, and we boxed in Ireland. I got best boxer of the night when I boxed in Ireland, Omar. That was it.
What?
But then a lot of people then, when fist trades thingy, nearly all of them went to St Paul's. That's what spoiled it now. It's like one club, you know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, but it's by far the best club now, isn't it? But
but they're all there, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many... Mick Bromby, I don't know how many champions and pros he's had, but he must have had a fair few
he's had
now.
loads, loads done well.
But but how did it differ then? Because I don't know much about, the amateur side of boxing. How did it differ then to now? What was the crack? At what point is it where?
Well, I don't know. They seem to have more shows because you used to get Kinloss and all that, St Mary's, and you seem to have a lot more clubs. But you don't see shows going on all the time.
But the thing is, that avenue for boxers now is that Olympic pathway, isn't they? Obviously, Luke Campbell stayed as an amateur, went into that Olympic pathway. And then obviously, well,
that's a bit different, isn't it? I mean, when you say amateur, that's supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
But you can go into that Olympic pathway, you can be on like 30 grand, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's just like the funding, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I'm on about that. But at the same time, again, when I turned pro, I'm living in a bedsit, signing dole. You know what I mean? So, one minute, if you're getting looked after, you're getting money coming in, or next minute, you're getting about 37 quid to last year, a week or something. And you got to survive. So you got to, in other words, you got to fight.
You got to fight to live. Yeah. Well, so in terms of if that Olympic pathway, because you mentioned before that they come to a point where you was either going to go in the army or you were going to carry on with the boxing. Obviously, the Olympic pathway avenue didn't really exist then, and I think you ended up fighting a couple of Olympic champions and all sorts, didn't you? But we'll come on to that. But obviously, Nigel Benn, he was in the army, wasn't he?
He was in the Marines, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but do you think sometimes if you joined the army but actually boxed in the army, you might have had a better foundation than what you actually had?
Yeah, well, to be honest, if I'd have boxed in the army, I reckon I'd have done. If I'd have gone in the army, I reckon I'd have most knuckled down and done real well. But the bad side, I wouldn't have had you and Jay, and I won't make mum.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, I tell you what, I can imagine you being like, you seen Forrest Gump when he's cleaning the guns and stuff. I bet you that.
That's wrong.
I bet that's what you'd be like in the army.
Yeah. Well, you're like him now, aren't you?
So you turn pro then. Do you want to? I was going to say, do you want a bottle of water?
No, just a cup of tea. You know what I mean? I'm warm. You know what I mean?
I just thought I've got one in there if you want to go. But so anyway, so you turned pro. At what point? How did you know you wanted to decide to be a professional boxer then?
Well, do you want me to tell you about the fight before when I turned pro?
Go on. Yeah.
I boxed. I was in I think it's like Yorkshire. You had to box once or twice, a couple of times a night. But I boxed this Colin Manners. He was knocking everybody out, and I boxed him at Barnsley. And he's a nice kid, Colin. But
that was it. That was his own show, wasn't it? That was his club's own show, wasn't it, in Barnsley?
No. He's from Leeds.
No, sorry, carry on then.
He's from Leeds, but he's in Barnsley anyway. And he's knocking everybody out. But I got in there. I just boxed, his head off, moved about. Didn't really let him catch me. And they said by a majority decision, which is 2-1, which should have been 3-1 because I won every round. They said by a majority decision, everyone started booing in the place. They give it to him.
Yeah.
Which is...
So robbery, spared you on to go pro, did it?
Yeah, well, then Brendan Ingle was in the crowd with Johnny Nelson, all this lot. And they just asked me to go down to see him in Sheffield and that. And I went down and there was Prince Nassim, Johnny Nelson, Errol Bomber Graham, like the best boxer never to win a world title, I suppose. And Henry Watt was a great boxer as well. But he's just there. And the gym was just full of brilliant people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Brendan Ingle was class. I mean, sometimes I might have got less than I thought and stuff like this, but he was a top trainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll come on to that bit anyway. So you obviously then moved. So you moved to Sheffield in this bedsit then.
Yeah.
So then you, like you said, part of that arrangement was obviously you got access to the gym. You're doing all the training. Did you have like a schedule, or was it?
Nice to just go there, but the other thing is as well, Meadowhall in Sheffield, just up the hill, Winkerbank, is where the gym is. It's church, opposite the church, and Brendan's house is just there. But my little bedsit, it's about six and a half mile away. You know, Hillsborough.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. But,
So the arrangement was, so you had to sign on the dole then as part of that
Dole,
arrangement. So you'd be on the dole, not working, and training every day, and then he'd just throw fights at you. So then you'd go and earn your money through fighting. Then
but half the time you want fighting, so you never know when he's going to fight. So then you just ticking over.
He didn't know where he was at.
Plus you can't just keep ticking over. You got to sort. If you got a fight, say if we got sorted out and you're training a kid, you like build them up so you get them there, ready to go. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you've had it. I've had it once where I got there and I felt real good. The next minute you feel crap. You go. It's like a race horse. You can do so much or so less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. So, what was I going to say then? So your first fight then was Paul Lynch. I think that was at a leisure centre, wasn't it, somewhere?
It would have been. Beat me on points, didn't he?
Yeah, so you lost your first ever fight. So did it, going from amateur to professional, did it feel like a big deal? Like, I suppose, the modern day fighters, they're going from, amateur to potentially, matchroom show, televised show. It wouldn't have been that glamorous, would it? You wouldn't have been.
No.
It was just in a legend.
But the thing is, the difference is when you look at the people I bought, I mean, when you get them kids, even the kids in Hull, they've had 8-10 fights and they don't fought no one.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got a kid and the kid I was on 10 impro, you have a fight, you'd have maybe so many fights, but then you've got to step them up.
Yeah.
They just don't fight no one. I mean, half of them now, they're not fighting no one.
Yeah. So you lost. So that's what I was going to say. So you lost your first fight. Johnny Nelson, who was in the camp with you, he lost his first 3 fights, Johnny Nelson, and then obviously went on to win the world title. I think he's got the record for the
longest, isn't he?
Yeah, longest cruiserweight defence, hasn't he? So do you think the modern day pro boxers are a bit too obsessed with being on zero? Zero losses? Do they want?
Well, I think it's the management, innit? I mean, to be honest, Frank Bruno. I mean, I've had him at shows. Frankie sound as a pound, but I used to watch him all the time. Same as the lads they'll know. He used to be on Sports Night every Wednesday, every month, couple of months, fighting an opponent.
Yeah.
Never fought anyone. Just fought all these people to knock over. He's had 5 hard fights and he's been knocked out 5 times.
Yeah. So
he's earned the money. He's earned the money. It's good management, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's that fine line, isn't it? And obviously, I think what the issue is with the professional scene at the moment, I think lads need, the 10-0, 14-0 to then get on the televised shows where they get the money.
But the other thing is when you got like Tommy Fury, so I mean, like I say, he's below it now, he's had them 2 big fights. But the thing is, I mean, he's in them millions of fights, and I don't think he'd ever win a British title. You know what I mean? He ain't got the ability to win a British title.
But then he's earned more money.
He's earned more money than world champions in that. I mean, good on him, but
what do you think to that then? What do you think to all that YouTube, that
well,
that
it's great
spectacle
boxing? It's great if you're in it, you know what I mean? Like you say, just tell John Fury I'll fight John Fury, you know what I mean? I'll hold him up for the first few rounds.
Yeah, so you met John Fury, didn't you? You really liked him, but you wouldn't mind fighting him in Saudi, would you, for a big payday?
Yeah, I'd
be happy if you fought him in Saudi. You might be able to get.
I'd fight Johnny in Saudi, and plus, what the thing is with me, I started knocking him out at the end of my career. And in my last fight, I'm not that kid out, then I 17.5 stone, big heavyweight in Glasgow. But the thing is, I had John Fury at a talk. Well, I was
after
out
dinner speaking of him
before in Manchester. Was Steve Foster, the Viking, was out one time with him. But when I had him at a show, John, when he's on telly sometimes, he comes on real loud and brash. I think he's a bit like the wrestling thing. But when you have him to talk, he's a proper gentleman. It's class.
Yeah.
I like to have him again because he does talk a lot of sense.
I actually do think he's a bit of the brains behind the operation in terms of the Fury stuff. I think he's got a bit of an act, hasn't he? I think he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
But what would your game plan be then if you fought John Fury? Because he boxed, didn't he? Is he?
Oh, he's good. Yeah, he boxed. Yeah, it'd be hard work if I boxed him, to be honest, because he's a southpaw, and it'd be hard work them southpaws.
Do you reckon, so you won't be able to knock him out then?
Well, I mostly would though, because I've just started knocking them all out, and it'd still be if he's southpaw, because he's southpaw, I'd still be able to catch him when we have our hand right.
So that going, I know we're skipping right to the end of your career now.
We don't matter.
But no, it's all right. It was nice flowing it. But the thing is, you said that you actually changed the way you were punching, weren't you, the last couple of fights, and then I think you knocked 2 or 3 people out, didn't you?
Yeah. Well,
so what was your style as a boxer? What would you say you was like?
Well, to be honest, I was just like a counter puncher or whatever, counter puncher. But the thing is, what I did at school years ago, we used to do cricket ball throwing, and I won like all the Yorkshire cricket ball throwing, and I sort of like knacking my arm. I got like I don't know if you can hear it. I got like a tennis elbow, and it like clicked in it. So I never really threw my right hand that much. But my last about 36, that kid in Southampton, when I brought it out of her, I knocked him out. I did it to a few. I fought this big gypsy, unbeaten gypsy, Billy Wilson in Doncaster. He was like 6'5", and I'm boxing him. And I tried to get the video of that as well, but the trainer won't give me it. So he's beating me. 6 round it is, and he's won the first 5 rounds. He's tall, jabbing my head off and all, and it came. I think it's the 5th round. Just comes over again, exactly like in Southampton. Just caught him on that, knocked him out. Yeah, he was on gas and air the lot. Same with the Indian in Glasgow.
That was your last fight. You knocked him out as well, didn't you?
Yeah, started knocking them all out. 17 years too late. But I had to chuck it, so my brain's kind of changed.
Yeah. So in terms of that legendary knockout, then the YouTube video, I'm sure like we might insert a clip of it, during the video. But in Southampton, talk us through that fight. Then what was the crack?
Well, I just my mate got me the fight. Roy Hilder, he's like Chelsea fan and that. Right, one of the pals from London, right? And he just said, "Oh, I got this kid and all this." He says.
Was he meant to be a prospect or just a big ticket seller or
not special? He just not really, just not special. He just says, then he goes there and he's trying to put it on me and all that lot. But then the crowd all start shouting, "You fat bastard!" I think they were shouting at me and myself like that because I was out of shape.
Yeah,
obviously. And
so you blew him a kiss. You blew him a kiss first, didn't you?
Oh yeah, sorry. I did I did a bit of showboating like that. Then I blew him a kiss when I was leaning over the ropes.
Why did you do that? Was the shouting something?
He got wound up. She always like slag you off and that. So I just blew him a kiss like that. Then they all start shouting, "You fat bastard! You fat bastard!" So I just did the alley shuffle, looked at them all, threw the right and knocked them out. Then I knocked him out and I just went,
knocked Mervyn out. The issue was though, when you're doing the alley shuffle, he properly just is staring at your feet, isn't he?
Yeah, he
he's done like
him.
the one
hypnotised him.
So he did.
But then I talked to his dad after the fight.
Yeah,
and he's built up down Springbank where I was from,
yeah, and then they just moved to Southampton. Yeah.
He's a real nice kid as well, to be honest. But I think he's fed up when that video comes on.
Well, that's the thing, innit? That video.
And can I just say, I've never been paid a penny for that, so I must be entitled to something because it said about 32 million hits. And if you go on the American site and you put it on 20 top showboating knockouts, it's on there as well. And the bloke says, "Watch this, it's legendary." So someone must be able to get me some money from somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I've ever done is have my pants down at this boxing game.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, it was
John Fury, come and get Tony Bull some money and I'll knock you out.
So I think I'd put money on him beating you.
Oh.
John Fury. I think the issue with you, Dad, you wouldn't do any training again.
I'd train at
John Fury would be getting trained by Tyson.
I'm in betting now, aren't I?
Yeah.
What I did the other day, I did 65 press-ups straight off. 70 the other day.
Yeah.
Then I go in with all your kids boxing. I go in with them all non-stop.
Yeah.
So I think I'm fitter now. And I've just dropped £10 with this bug. I'm fitter now than I was then.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, if you fought John Fury, you'd have to put weight on because he's big, isn't he?
Yeah. You'd have no issue doing that then, would you?
Well, no. But if I was getting paid a few quid.
So you fought. So obviously your first three fights, fought Paul Lynch, you lost. Then you went and fought Mickey Duncan, and then you went and fought Colin Manners.
Because Colin Manners, when I turned pro in amateur, then he turned pro with Mickey Duff. Mickey Duff was the top promoter.
Yeah.
So then I beat him as a pro.
And how did that fight go down then?
Right, just
Do you remember much of the fight? Or?
No, I think I just boxed his head off and that just jabbed and moved. And that,
Yeah, and that was the lad who you felt you got robbed by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, sorted. And then you fought Sean McCrory.
Yeah, Glenn McCrory's brother, innit? Yeah.
Yeah. Anything and then you. So did you beat him or did you get beat?
No, he beat me both times, I think, on points. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you went and you went up to Cleethorpes on Mick Dalton's show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fighting Bullet Andrews.
Oh yeah.
So tell us about that fight then.
Well, I think I stopped him in a couple of rounds, didn't I?
Yeah.
But then after that fight, I mean, what year was that? Do you know?
I think it'd been about 91, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I'd have still been living at home with my dad. So then, with my mum. But then I was getting these real bad chest pains.
Yeah.
Real bad chest pains and full of sweat. Anyway, I went to see a doctor. And this doctor said, there's not a matter with you. So then the next day I got loads of chest pains and it's still the same. So I went back again. So this other doctor sent me for an X-ray oil oil. And I had a part and a half of fluid on my lung. I had TB, tuberculosis.
Jesus. And you could have died, couldn't you?
Could have died because I was in Castle Hill and there's about 3-4 dying. So I signed myself out of there. Then the doctor rang us up and I had to go see him and he said, you can die from TB. So I had to take 15 tablets for about a year and a half.
Wow.
And to be honest, my lungs now like bang on. Because when I do that body sparring, sometimes I do it for charity and I do like half an hour non-stop.
Yeah.
So my lungs, at least it's so much, but them tablets must have done me a bit good or something.
So you might have been fighting that Bullet Andrews with tuberculosis then?
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to bother you?
Well, not
till afterwards.
Not till after.
So then you fought Neville Brown. So that was where you alluded to it earlier. You had about an hour notice, didn't you? So who was Neville Brown?
He was like British champion in that Neville Brown. He ended up being a British champion, but he was like top of the bill. And I met my mate's house, Toddy. I'm just in his house. Said, "Oh, I could do some money with skint." The next minute the phone rings and he said, "Oh," he says, "Brendan Ingle, I got your fight here, so and so, Neville Brown, all this lot." So shot there, got down there in a couple of hours, ended up boxing, got beat on points.
Yeah,
I had a bit of weight on him, a little bit, but which is more of an hindrance. And I got paid all right. But then,
was that one of the times you say you'd saved the show then? Because you did that a few times over your career, didn't you?
Yeah, I saved the show, because he was the main fight, wasn't he?
And why didn't he have an opponent? Was somebody who dropped out, or?
Well, you'll know yourself if you're doing the shows. They can drop out last minute, can't you?
Yeah.
But luckily enough, like me, I saved a few shows, especially in London and that.
So that.
But then I got paid a few quid.
Yeah.
But then Brendan Ingle stopped a good few quid. He said I owed some rent on me
on your bed sit.
On my bed sit.
So going back to that bed sit situation, then. So obviously, for people who don't know, what they should know, shouldn't they, if they're a boxing fan? But Brendan Ingle, do you know he trained 4 world champions, 6 European champions, 15 British champions, and 6 Commonwealth champions over the course. Yeah, he was one. Would you say he's one of the best trainers ever from Britain? That is.
Yeah.
And so when you were there, like you said, Johnny Nelson, he was in the camp with you, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Prince Nazim.
Yeah.
And Errol Bomber Graham.
Yeah.
And like, could you just tell us?
Glyn Rhodes, he's got the MBE.
Yeah. Can you tell us about
Wayne Wildle, Buster Keaton?
Yeah. Can you tell us about them three though? Could you go into, so can you tell us about what was Johnny Nelson like as a trainer, as a fighter? You know, he's obviously a very nice bloke. We've met him a few times. He's got a lot of respect for you, hasn't he? But and then you ended up fighting him at one point in your career.
Yeah, but I didn't really fight him, did I? Because he was just, I shouldn't have just something to do with the camp and that. I mean,
two people fighting from the same camp. You wouldn't see that now, would you?
He stitched up, wasn't he? So, yeah. I mean, if I had his arms and body, I'd be knocking everyone out. You know what I mean?
But what was he like then to train with? Was you all?
I was all right. Yeah, he was good. I used to go to the a place in Sheffield, Prince Nassim. Well, Naz, we just called him Naz, didn't we?
Yeah.
We used to go play snooker and snooker, yeah.
Yeah.
Yon end of Hillsborough it was.
Yeah. And they come and watch you in Hull a few times, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because
he watched me and he watched Naz. I boxed this kid in London, this John Beckles, who was WABA champion, and I ended up stopping him. But Naz is boxing. Naz is shouting some instructions out, and I've got the video. I put it on Facebook not so long back, and he shouts 3 shots, Tony, 3 shots, left, right, left hook, and obviously I can't hear it. I'm just doing it, and he says 3 shots, Tony. The next minute, this John Beckles comes in. I go bam, bam, and I catch him with a 3 shot, which is left hook.
Yeah,
his legs go.
Yeah.
Then I stop him in the last shot.
So it just shows Naz had that.
Yeah. Well, my dad, you know, George, my uncle, George Boyson, he used to knock about my dad's brother, and Naz was only 16, and I was boxing at one of the shows, and he says to me, Uncle, I'm going to be world champion and all that. So
did he? So he knew, did he?
And
he went to
Brendan, like you say, I mean, I might have short-changed me a few times or something, but like for what he did in Sheffield, like you got to take your hat off to him, you know what I mean? But
yeah. So then Naz, Nana actually said before that for whatever reason, you know, he was all round their house with Naz.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he had his feet up on a coffee table. Have you heard this one?
Yeah,
you'd have been there at the time.
I can't remember it though.
Yeah, so Nana said Naz had his feet on the coffee table, and she said, "Get your feet off." And he went, "You don't tell the prince what to do," he said. So apparently, do you reckon
she would have? Yeah, I reckon that.
Would she have told him off? Or?
Should have told him something. He'd have put his feet down. But.
So then, obviously, we'll come to Errol Bomber. Graham, met him, real nice guy. He's had a bit of trouble outside of boxing, hasn't he? I think, you know.
Yeah,
tell us about because a lot of people, especially like people my age, won't actually know who he is, will they? You know, but he's highly regarded as one of the best ever to not win a world title, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Well, he's real elusive. He used to go around the jails and all that, letting people try and hit him and all that. But he's awesome. But he was going to fight Julian Jackson. Well, he fought Julian Jackson for world title. And he only had to go to the end of the round, and he was going to pull that Julian Jackson out. And he did a bit of showboating, a bit like Tommy Coyle when he fought that Des Matthews. Then just did a little bit, then got caught, got knocked out.
Yeah, so that was a poor fight management by him then, wasn't it? Do you know? It's like say you're winning at football. You're winning at football. Sometimes you don't need to score the attack. You just got to play the game, haven't you?
It's just it's like out in it. It's like everything in hindsight, innit? I mean, it's like me when I boxed with that Crawford Ashley.
Yeah, we'll come to that anyway. I don't want to throw it out of sync. So your next fight, which you've actually told me before, is one of the biggest regrets of your career. You fought Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell, I think it was for a belt. I'm not sure.
Was it
an area title? Yeah. So tell us about the Glenn Campbell fight then.
Well, I think I bottled 2 things in my life, and this fight I saw a video of this cat, and I just don't know, maybe bottled it a bit.
You see, when you talk about it, it's winding you up a bit, I think.
Yeah,
you don't want to even talk about it properly.
Well, no, because to be honest, I don't know. I got in the first round and I whacked him all over. I just boxed his head off, and I just had a negative thought in my back. So I'd seen a video of him and all this, which is maybe an each looked real thingy, but the lads who went there, if they had a video of the first fight, I just boxed his head off and all that. And I'm more or less covered up in the second round, and I just got stopped.
You got stopped in the second round?
Something like that, and just a big regret. But the only things I bottled that, and the only other thing I bottled when I was at school, I was in 110 metres hurdles, and I was supposed to do it, and I said, I don't fancy doing it. And this kid took my place. And I used to beat this kid all the time by about 50 metres, and he won the race by about 50 metres. So I bottled 2 things in my life.
I think that's where your priorities are all wrong. That you've had this career, you fought all sorts, you've trained the way you have, you've fought for titles, and you're still more bothered about this race at school.
Oh no, but it's just I bottled it now, you know. I should have.
So what's it like though? You know, obviously you stopped in the second round as a fighter. I suppose the good thing is you want ad weeks. That's where the modern day pros, they go wrong a bit, don't they? If they're training for 12 weeks, do you know, have this fight, and they're only in there 8 minutes and they've blown it. It must take a big toll on them. But you didn't have time to think, did you? Because I think you were fighting a couple of days later.
Yeah,
but, but how did you feel in that moment when you got stopped? How do you feel afterwards? In the changing room and all that. What about like when you speak to Grandad? When you spoke to your dad? When you rang him up and said,
"Well, to be honest, if you got you there when you got there, I mean, I thought this Colin McDermott one time. McDermott massive, absolutely massive. So they only got you there to get knocked out. But anyway, I got stopped, but I never got knocked out. But the thing is, I was using them, you know what I mean? Because they're like using you. So I was like using them as a payday, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what I mean? You just, if it was a proper stoppage, I mean, when I fought Denzel Brown, the first time I boxed him, I got a draw. Didn't really hurt me. But then I fought him for this area title and I fancied it. And I never really got cut, and he hit me, and he sort of like skimmed me eye, and it cut me eye. Then about 4 punches later, he did it on the other eye, and like both my eyes were cut. First time I've ever got both my eyes cut.
And you had to retire, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if Denzel had something on his gloves, like, but
to get you cut.
Yeah,
cut you like that.
I've never been cut, and he stopped me about 2 rounds. I thought, that's a bit of a downhill when you know what I mean.
What do you? Speaking of cuts and gloves and all that, one of the most iconic videos I've ever watched of the boxing back in the day was is it Henry Cooper's fight against Muhammad Ali?
Oh yeah.
Obviously Muhammad Ali wasn't the great Muhammad Ali we know now. Do you know, it was towards the start of his career, wasn't it? Or but do you think that they did deliberately cut the gloves open then in the corner? So what happens? He gets buzzed, doesn't he? He's about to get knocked out.
Yeah. Well, he's got,
and then he gets saved by the bell, and then
just brought him round, didn't they? But I reckon, they cut his glove. But it's the same again. It's like, well, like, you got the mafia and all that involved, won't you? It's like when he fights Sonny Liston, fights him the second time, don't even hit him. Goes down, then he's like knocked out, and he said it's a phantom punch. You see it?
Yeah,
you seen it?
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to bang a clip if we can bang a clip into the video or something. But do you think
you can tell what it's like because he hits him, and he hasn't really hit him, and he's gone down. He's more or less shouting like, "Get up, get up!" It looks so bad that, but he's just, you know what I mean. And next minute he's found dead on his bed and all that, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and wasn't he meant to have been he was meant to be a really good
he was
next
supposed to
big
be
thing.
No, that was Sonny Liston. He was supposed to be like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So
then, right, here we go then. So you bottled it against Glenn Campbell. You then went and fought Nick Manners. So is Nick Manners that iconic photo? Am I getting mixed up? Nick Manners is the
one
big
with
guy.
Me and him. That's on my Facebook feed.
Yeah, we'll have to shove the photo in, won't we? Where he's built like a Greek god.
Yeah,
and then you're built like Homer Simpson, aren't you? And
no, well, I wasn't so bad there. I was just white, wasn't I?
Nah, I'm only kidding. So, but how was that fight then? So was he related to Colin Manners?
Yeah.
So what was that fight like then?
Brothers, you see. That'd be...
Well, I
won't give it away the same name.
Yeah, but how many people... Whatever. So how was that fight then?
It was all right. It was all right. He said he thought he'd won. He said, Pat Barrett. He said, Pat Barrett thought I'd won and all that. But the thing is, Nicky Manners and all them, Henry Watt and all, it was all with Mickey Duff. Pat Barrett's doing the commentating on like Mickey Duff's show. So he's going to go for Nicky Manners, isn't he?
But was it in where was the show? Do you remember? Dewsbury?
It was in Dewsbury. And they're from Leeds. I don't think Dewsbury's far from Leeds, is it?
And did you get a draw?
I got a draw, yeah. So I don't think that. I think that's, yeah.
So would you say that in their turf, on their show, that's more or less a win, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But come on, he's all right, Nicky Manners. So I'm happy with a draw. Like
would you fight him again? Would you fight him in Saudi?
Yeah, I'd fight anyone. I'd fight anyone. The only one I won't fight would be Tyson Fury because he's so tall. Yeah. I won't fight anyone so tall.
Yeah. So
I won't fight them heavyweight. I'd fight John Fury though.
Yeah. So then you went and fought. It was your first ever fight abroad. Actually, it was in Holland. You fought Eddie Smulders.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about him? He ended up being European champ, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he could punch hard. I wouldn't have had a lot of notice down there. I just went there and boxed him. That was it. but he punched hard Eddie Smoulders.
Was he one of the?
I think that was one of my first times I boxed abroad, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was. It was your first time. Yeah. So was that one of your hardest punches you received then? Off
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't know what it was. I might have been fighting kids heavy and all sorts of.
Yeah, but in terms of the hardest punches you faced, then what would you say was some of your hardest punches?
Well, he was hard, Eddie Smoulders. Dean Francis, he had a good dig on him. He ended up dying, Dean Francis, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he was good.
What?
Kawasaki, he had a dig on him, I thought, at one point. When I fought Chisora, 4 stone heavy, and it didn't bother me at all.
No.
Michael Sprott knocked Tolly House and he didn't bother me. I think it's at the time, otherwise you can have a fight where you can get hit and every punch will hurt you, but in my career, in the end, I started getting punched and it wasn't really bothering me.
No, the damage was done.
yeah.
So the
damage is done. That's nice, isn't it?
So Joe Calzaghe said before, because you had an after dinner speaking event with Joe, didn't you? And you actually said he was one of the hardest punches.
Yeah, well,
but you didn't fight him in the ring; it was just sparring on it. So
yeah, just sparring with you. But the thing is, a lot of them, when I used to watch Joe, I thought he used to slap. But then when you spar with him, you realise he doesn't slap. Then anybody who thinks he slaps, if you watch him when he fights Roy Jones or Bernard Hopkins, they'll go toe-to-toe with him. They're all backing off.
Yeah.
So if he didn't punch that hard, you won't be backing. You know what I mean? They won't be backing off all the time.
Yeah,
that's forcing him back.
So that brings us nicely, to be fair, to the sparring camps. So obviously you went on you did a couple of these sparring camps. So you didn't fight Joe Calzaghe, but you were fighting him every day, weren't you? In the sparring camps. So tell us a bit. You went on a couple of sparring camps, didn't you? So do you want to tell us about them? So
yes, he's Paul Carl Thompson in Mossad. He's real nice, Carl.
So didn't he get a good win over somebody?
Yeah, he was world champion. He got our boxer Ralph Gianni, the German in Berlin. I got a draw with him. But then he ended up fighting Carl Thompson for world title. Carl Thompson lost to him, but then Carl Thompson ended up beating that Ralph Gianni, and Carl Thompson ended up stopping David A.
Yeah.
But when I was one time, I'm flying out to Belfast to spar with Darren Corbett, and he could punch hard.
Yeah.
So he could punch hard. So in the last round, Mossad with Carl Thompson was just like boxing. Then he catches me with this uppercut. I thought that hurt a bit. So anyway, I'm getting out of the ring. I've got like a big lump of Vaseline on my eye, like a big lump. I said, "Can you just wipe that Vaseline?" And he said, "No, it's not Vaseline. My eye just come up." I thought it was Vaseline.
Yeah, come up that much.
My eye just come up. So with that, then I'm flying to Belfast to spar with this Darren Corbett. So with that, when I get off the plane, I bend down to pick my luggage up. I come up and I bang my head. So my head's bleeding. I've got this big lump on my head. So his trainer meets me. So then we did 2 or 3 weeks body sparring. So that was all right.
I bet that
body sparring, wasn't it?
I said to you, when you told me that before, though, I said, God, I bet they was a bit pissed off with you. And you said they didn't seem that bothered, did they?
They seemed so bothered.
They must have just been slagging you behind your back.
Not bothered.
So you fought. So that was Carl Thompson. Then you went to the Belfast. You did plenty.
I was sparring with Ben, wasn't I?
Yeah. So you did plenty of sparring with Adrian in Tenerife, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was now, I think.
I slipped up one time. I was sparring with Ben. And I think he was going to fight Lil Gent. And when I used to go to Tenerife, and I must have been daft. I was getting like homesick. You know what I mean? So one time I come back from Tenerife, and I was real glad to be home. Then I got offered to go to Lanzarote to spar with Lil Gent. I think I turned it down. Then 2 days later, I was in Norfolk. I could have been in Lanzarote, you know what I mean? So that was
but you did a few sparring camps with Ben, didn't you? So what fights were you his sparring partner for then?
Well, when he won that world title against that Mauro Galvano, and I think, don't know if they fought again, but about 5 or 6 times. Then he's last in when he beat Joe McClellan.
Yeah, and you're just as a sparring partner. Are you just on standby the entire time? So if it's a 2 week, if you're out there 2 weeks, you're literally just waiting around until they say, right, we need you in the ring, or do you get a bit of notice?
We used to have like a set time. So what we'd do, we'd just go on the beach and that.
Yeah.
Set time. I mean, obviously you're not having a drink or whatever. Well, we had a drink on a night.
Yeah.
But then you just wait until so we use. But you used to go run at this Mount TD.
Yeah.
Like the volcano up there, and it's real altitude training, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's good. But one time there's me and this kid, and like I say, I was a real fast runner. And Jimmy Tibbs, his trainer, said, "Oh, you can go running with Nigel." And he gave us a bit of a start. And in the end, we had to wait for him.
Oh, you had to wait for that.
we had to stop and wait for him, yeah. Cause I've always been like a good runner, and when I go running, I run like decent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So in terms of you've never really been on any like proper lads holidays or out like that, have you? Was them Tenerife sparring camps a bit of a lads holiday, or did you behave yourself?
Yeah. No, that was alright. Tenerife, yeah.
So you managed to get a
no,
couple
I've
of
never
beers
been
in?
on lads where we all lot. I mean, like you all lot do. Or
Yeah.
I've never been there.
No, it'd have been
I've had
back
a
in,
sheltered life.
So it'd have been back in the day. It'd have been them long coach trips, wouldn't it? Them coach trips around Europe for 18 quid.
Yeah, I went to Switzerland with school twice.
Yeah.
Saved the kid's life there in the nearly drowned. Saved his life.
What did you do? Oh yeah, you told me about this before.
Well, you had to you had all the like lakes, and you had to swim out to these like rafts and that. And this kid was swimming out one time, and there's about three of us swimming. Then he heard himself, Tony. I turned around and he's like struggling. I said, come on, hurry up, keep going. Next time I turn around, he's like, head goes under the water. So I swam back, lifted his chin up, and had them like guards that came, you know, and like the boats and like saved
lifeguard,
him.
Yeah.
Then I saw him. I think I was out with your mum, and was in a restaurant. And he sent me a bottle of wine over.
Oh, that's good. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Sean Patrick.
So,
Real nice kid.
Going back to your sparring camp with Nigel Ben, then did you when he was going to be fighting somebody? Who did you say it was? Didn't you actually put a bet on?
Joel McClellan, when he fought Joel McClellan, yeah. So
what are you going to tell everybody what bet you put on?
Yeah, but I don't want Nigel to get mad, but I had a bet on Joel McClellan to lock him out in the first round.
So this was after training with him for a couple of weeks, and you thought, do you know what? I think he's going to get beat here. Or did you just know what his vulnerabilities were?
The reason being, I thought if this McClellan's as good as he is, I mean, I my best punch, I had a good jab, and I could catch Nigel quite easy when we jab all the time, and obviously he had a good jab, McClellan. So you have a bet on whatever you think, don't you?
So what actually happened in that fight then?
Well, I had a bet. On Ben to get beat in the first round, and they slashed the odds. You know what I mean? The odds went to stupid prices, and but Ben got knocked out the ring and all that lot. But then he comes back and ends up winning. But I think if that was in America, he'd have definitely got beat. Because if you watch the fight, all the referee does, he stops him boxing. When that McClellan tries to get stuck into him, all he does is jump in and breaks him all the time. He just breaks him up all. He won't let him go. He won't let him fight. If it had been in America, they'd let him fight, and it would have been a different ballgame.
Yeah,
that's my point of view. Because if you watch the fight, any boxing fan, he'll know the referee's not letting him fight. He just breaks him up. That McClellan wants to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then it
meant me look good with him winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kevin Sanders was training him. He got him ducking and weaving and that.
That's it though. That's like the game plan though. Sometimes, isn't it? That you've just got to survive. You know, you're vulnerable in them early rounds, but you know your opponent's going to gas out or get their head boxed off. You know, over the course of the full. Full rounds, full
no,
fight.
He did real well, Nigel. But like you say, it's just a shame he's in the way he is now, isn't it, Joel McClellan?
So then, right, where are we then? So you then fought Maurice. This is a mad story, actually. You fought Maurice Corr, sorry, yeah. Maurice Corr. You fought Maurice Corr, and tell us about that fight then, because this is actually a mad story, really, isn't it?
Well, I boxed him in Mossad, where all the champs camp was, and I was like full of cold. I was like, cold, but obviously you got to fight him. So anyway, I boxed him, and I thought I'd been knocked down about twice. And in the end, I think I've been knocked down about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And Mickey Duff says, he's like, who's top promoter, Mickey Duff, and he said, I don't know anybody got up from that shot. He said, I don't know anyone got up from that shot. 'Cause he'd put me down, and at the time I was working for my dad, so he's put me down, and I'm on the canvas, and all I can remember is my dad coming in my bedroom and getting me up for work. So all I've done, I almost just like rose up like that.
Yeah, like that Tyson Fury Wilder moment.
Yeah. But like I said, this was years ago. But
It'd be good if that was videoed, wouldn't it? So you got it that hard that it physically teleported you somewhere else. No, mentally teleported you somewhere else.
Well, like you say, he's just like, come on, Tony, get up for work. So I'm just that sort of that. But I don't know if anyone's got a video of it. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone got a video for that fight, but. Yeah, so yeah. But then I thought I'd only been down about twice, but I'd been out 4 times. But
so he must
obviously
have
I had cold as well, so that was not helped, does it?
He must have been in trouble then during that fight.
Yeah.
But did he manage to...
Don't beat me on points.
Beat you on points, managed to survive. Wow.
Sure he did, yeah.
So then you went and fought James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook.
Was a European and British champion, wasn't he?
He was, I think, yeah. But the...
Did you fight him twice?
Yeah, I think so. But then he beat me. But then the second time I was training a bit harder. But then I was training a bit harder for the fight. Then I come home and unfortunately I maybe popped for a beer, and I got into this fight with this kid, and dislocated my thumb.
Oh right.
So then I'm fighting. Then I'm boxing all right. And next minute I hit him, and I feel like my left hand go. So I'm only using like my right hand, and he beats me on points. So by like 8 rounds, 6 rounds. So wasn't so bad, was it really?
Shouldn't have been fighting though, should you?
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
So then you've got
it's a bad world out there.
Yeah. So then you've got 2 big fights. Then you've got your first one was Ralph Rogigiani in Germany.
Yeah.
Like you said, he won the world title against Carl Thompson, didn't he? And then, like you said, Carl Thompson knocked out David A.
Yeah, he was.
But how was that fight against Ralph then? What was
it?
That
Was
like?
good, but that Danny Mancini used to be Mickey Duff's right hand man. He was like the trainer. He was like, he's boxing really good. He used to say about this Ralph Rogigiani. This was before he's world champion. He said, "Oh yeah, better boxer than him, Tony, but you won't stop him because he's like right hard case."
Yeah.
And then he came on to me. And I hit him on best punch. And he just smiled at me. So
Oh wow.
so I just got jabbing and moving.
And did you get beat? Did you get beat that fight?
No, I got a draw down.
Oh, so he got a draw in Germany, and he's German.
Yeah. But
So that's almost like a win, that really, isn't it?
I was playing golf with him the next day.
Yeah.
He won't come out the bunker. Bum.
How many times have I had that?
Hey.
So, so you enjoyed fighting in Germany, didn't you? You got well.
Yeah, look after them Germans. I mean, to be honest, when you go over there, and you fight in Germany. They'll announce you from England and all that, and they'll all applaud you and all that lot. But you get the Germans coming over here and they applaud them, and they all start booing. You know what I mean? They're a bit sad, aren't they?
Yeah. So you got well looked after when you fought away, did you? Then?
Oh yeah, look after them Germans.
Did you enjoy fighting abroad?
Yeah.
So then you fought Victor Cordoba
Marseille.
in Marseille. Tell us about that then.
Well, that was all right, Victor Cordoba, but that was another hard fight because he'd lost a controversial decision to Michael Nunn, who was world champion.
Yeah.
And like Joe Egan always says, Victor Cordoba was one of the hardest punchers he got punched by.
Yeah.
And he was just Power Tyson.
He was Mike Tyson's one of his main sparring partners, wasn't
he? He just didn't bother me. He just beat me on points in Marseille. So.
Yeah. Was he a lot taller than you? How did you fight? Do you remember much about the fight then?
Was a bit taller. No, I don't remember that much.
Yeah.
So
then, at this point, this is 1994. You started to lose a lot more fights, and looking at your box record, it looks like you're just taking fights for money at this point. So, was your manager Brendan? The Medsit situation? Did you feel at that point you were just getting thrown in with everyone and
I would have been, wouldn't I? Because you got Naz and Johnny and all them where they're earning the big money, and right, there's like me and another 10 boxers where you just get in like used and abused. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just get used and abused, but you know what I mean. So
Do you think that there's obviously it's not just the setup's fault? Do you think part of that comes down to you though, like your dedication to the sport?
well, no, not really, no. Because when I was running 9 mile a day when I first started.
Oh, so at this point you was regular training.
Well, I was training, but not maybe then. But when you're training and you're not fighting, you know what I mean. So what can you do?
Yeah,
You can't say to them, "Get me out." He'd never lay any money out, Brendan. He won't put shows on. He's fighting for other promoters.
Yeah.
So you're always fighting in their yard.
Yeah.
So you're up against it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just.
So in 1994, did it get to the point where you were doubting whether to stay with Brendan or not?
Well, yeah, I thought I'll just do something else. Yeah, that's it.
And what would you say? So then you went and fought Ollie Clementson in Copenhagen. He ended up becoming a European champion, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was he out notable from that fight? Or?
No, he beat me on points, didn't he?
Yeah.
Beat me on points, but no, it's just that one was alright. It's £10 a pound. About
£10 a pound.
30 years ago, yeah.
So that you wouldn't have liked it there then?
No. Yeah, a lot of good-looking women there, though.
So then...
but man, when you said about leaving Brendan, one of the bad moves, that's when I boxed for the British title after that, wasn't it? So,
yeah, so we'll come on to that. So we'll come on to that. So you fought then. You then fought Franco Wanyama for a Commonwealth title in Belgium. So this was a cruiserweight Commonwealth title.
Yeah, but it's just like another crap fight, wasn't it? I mean, how could I fight for a Commonwealth title? I mean, did I win any fights?
No, I think you'd lost about 5 fights coming up.
That's what I mean. So it's just a bit of a, you know what I mean.
So you'd have been thrown in for that title for the other guy, really, or
that's
just
what I
to
mean.
get the fight on.
Yeah. So,
but it was at the time fighting for because I think Tommy Coyle, he's won the Commonwealth title. Hasn't
he has. Yeah.
What was the Commonwealth title? What was the prestige of that when you were boxing? Was it more desirable?
No, it's still good to win. No, it's obviously good to win the Commonwealth title, isn't it? But it's the British title, isn't it? That's good.
So the British title was the one you
that's my big issue, great, like you say. But
yeah, we'll come on to that. So then you fought Torsten May. So you fought a few.
Torsten May was like Olympic gold medalist, wasn't he?
Yeah. So in a short space of time, right, you went from where did you fight Victor Cadorba again? Do you remember?
Marseille.
So you've gone from Germany. I think maybe it was at Berlin, Marseille, Copenhagen. Then you fought in Belgium. And then you fought Torsten May in Dortmund. So in that short space of time, you've been all over Europe, really. So tell us about that Torsten May then. So he was an Olympic gold medalist then, yeah?
Yeah, I boxed him. It was supposed to be 8 rounds, but I was maybe he couldn't do it with me and I couldn't do it with him. So they ended up giving it to him over 6 rounds. He was about 6'3".
And why is that then? Do you think you were making him look bad? Or
Yeah, I think I was making him look bad, but he was. You can't do them tall southpaws. I mean, to be honest, that's the main reason he's won an Olympic gold medalist. Luke Campbell, he's tall southpaw. You don't get many southpaws, do you?
So you can't get that preparation.
They have a massive advantage.
Yeah, why do they have the advantage of somebody?
Well, because if you're boxing orthodox, most people are right-handed, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm left-handed. I should have been a southpaw, but didn't me right arm in. But so with that, all they ever do, southpaws, is box an orthodox kid. Know what I mean?
Yeah. So in their sparring, if you're fighting somebody, the southpaws could always find sparring partners nice and easy, get the preparation right. But an orthodox fighting a southpaw, it's hard to find.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So then, and a tall one at that. So you fought Torsten May. What was it like fighting an Olympic gold medalist? Were they very amateur-y, or because you've sometimes you haven't rated medalists and stuff like that. But what would you say about that then?
No, he's alright. It's just a normal fight, not special.
Yeah. And then the next one, you fought Montel Griffin. You've got a story about that, haven't you?
Yeah, but I was only there for the money because he was first person to beat Roy Jones, and Dominic Kingill says to me, "Oh, it's 10 rounds." He said, "It's 10 rounds, just jab and move." I said, "I ain't going 10 rounds." You know what I mean?
So
because there for the money.
So you're there for the money. You just thought, do you know what?
Well, he just got decision over Roy Jones. They've given me about a day's notice. So anyone, any normal could be getting knocked out or something, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But I looked after myself. You know what I mean? I got the money.
Did you feel some
10 rounds jab him over? He's never boxed in his life, Dominic Ingle, and he trains people, but he's never done out.
Yeah.
I mean, trained Kell Brook and all that, but all he does is on the pads. He's never done any boxing, so he can't tell you. I mean, it's different with Brendan, and he's done a bit, but Dominic, he's.
Did you feel like you were there to get knocked out sometimes?
Well, yeah, a lot of the time.
So you were kind of sticking on to him, saying, "No, I ain't playing the game. I'm just going to take an A kind of thing." And
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So then, you went and fought Bruce Scott. So you mentioned about you fought him 3. Was that who you fought? Ended up fighting him 3 fights. You lost the first 2, more money every time, and then you won. You mentioned that, hadn't you? So then you actually left Brendan Ingle. This is what I found really interesting, and I do think it shows that maybe your attitude was in the wrong place sometimes, because you left Brendan Ingle, then I was born. So this was 1997.
When I met your mum.
Yeah, so you met my mum, and then I was born, and then I think from the day I was born, you fought 12 times and you won 10 in a row, and it ended up with a British title fight. So it just shows why did that happen then? Was it being a dad
to be honest, I was only with Jeffrey Arm and Mickey Brooks. I mean, they are the best or whatever, but I had like a little routine doing them.
Yeah.
Then I was like doing the graft and that, you know what I mean? But
do you think you were motivated to be...
well, I was with your mum in that one, you were with your mum, we've had you whatever, so you got to sort something out, haven't you?
It's like putting food on the table kind of thing for your family.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had a bit more of a better team, could have done more, couldn't I? But it's just...
Yeah. So we'll talk about this winning run then. So, you fought Martin Jolly.
Yeah.
Oh no, you fought Martin Langtree. So he was
Martin Langtree, yeah.
Yeah, Langtree. He was 12 unbeaten, wasn't
he? Yeah.
And then was there anything interesting from that fight? No, it was just the fact that it was the start of your run was coming up against somebody who was 12-0, and you managed to.
No, I just beat him on one of Mick Dalton's shows, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you went and fought Martin Jolly. So who was Martin Jolly then?
Martin Jolly, he's a nice kid. I boxed him. He had a real big forehead, and I was whacking his forehead. Then after a couple of rounds, I thought I must be really dafty because he had a massive chin, and the chin's a lot softer than the forehead. So I started whacking his chin. Anyway, I just beat him on points.
So you realised potentially breaking your hand on his forehead wasn't a good idea, and you switched it up.
Yeah.
I bet it took you most of the fight to figure that out, didn't it?
I know it did, yeah. Thick,
so so like I said, you went on this mad run, 12 unbeaten in a short space of time as well. Because remember, you're on average, you're fighting just short of once a month. So like you said, so you then had your British light heavyweight title fight against Crawford Ashley. So that was, would you say that was one of your biggest fights of your career then?
Oh yeah.
And that was when you 5 weeks notice. So tell us about that then. So in that 5 weeks, how was you prepared? What was happening then? You've never had 5 weeks to prepare for a fight before. What was you doing?
We were just training, which in any cat. Didn't really have any sparring out, but it was just so you're a bit knackered there. It's just on your natural ability, innit?
So then where did you fight him then? Was that at Ice Arena, yeah. And tell us about the fight then. What happened? It was your shot at the British title. Nobody's won the British title, have they? In this
No.
There's Curtis Woodhouse.
Yeah,
he won the British title,
he's
but
not from Hull.
He's not from Hull. He's just outside, isn't he?
Yeah.
So no Hull fighters won the British title, and they still haven't, have they? I don't think.
No.
So it was your big chance to cement your name.
Samir thought he was robbed in that. Well, like you say, I boxed him. First round, the referee Mickey Van was refereeing. He's from Leeds. Crawford Astley's from Leeds. Bit out of order that. So Mickey Van says break. So I broke, stood back. Next minute, Crawford Astley stepped in, hit me with the right hand, put me down. And he did this exactly the same in the second round. So put me down again. So then it's the 6th round. So by this time, I've got to about 6th round, and you just in the fight. You're not really. And I felt alright, to be honest. But I know he was getting tired, and I thought to him, I'm just going to go down for a standing 8 count, then get stuck into him, which is my biggest.
What, to get your breath back?
Yeah, just get that and get stuck in. And I went down, and Mickey Van stopped it, and I don't know if he said there's no standing 8 count, so he stopped me on a cut. I don't know. But I'd have sort of got knocked out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, is that one of your biggest regrets? Because in my opinion...
That's my biggest regret, yeah.
Yeah, obviously I've never boxed, in my opinion, probably not worth anything, but I'd say, well, you shouldn't have really been getting yourself in that position where in your preparation, where you're thinking, I need a breather here, but obviously it's totally different being in the ring, isn't it? But do you regret going down and doing that then?
Well, I regret, yeah.
But what was he like as a fighter, Crawford Ashley? What was he like?
Oh, he's good. He's like
what style?
He had a real, just tall boxing. He had a real good knockout percentage. He's had about 22 fights, 18 knockouts.
Yeah.
And he fought fighting all top Americans.
Yeah. So, and then I think did he end up fighting for a world title, or was it a European title or something?
He fought for a couple of world titles, I think, yeah.
Where did you feel you could bother him then?
Well, because I took his best punches, and in the first 2 rounds in that, and I'm in the 6th round, so he's hitting me, and he's not bothering me.
Yeah.
So obviously you go on like autopilot, you know what I mean? You start getting used to the punches.
Yeah. What was it like fighting for a British title in your home city? Was you well supported?
Well, it's hard work, innit? Because there's a lot of pressure on you. It's always loads of pressure on you, you know.
We saw Tommy Coyle, didn't we? We was with Tommy on Saturday, and he said he actually cried. He watched your Ice Arena, and he actually was crying when he got beaten. He went in the changing room.
His dad, Chris Summers a pound, yeah.
But then you said to Tommy when you were talking on Saturday, you said every time you fought in Hull, you used to like fighting in Hull, but you thought half the crowd actually wanted you to get beat.
Well, they do, don't they? But I mean, obviously when you fight in I was fighting Terry Morrill, I was on about when, you know what I mean? Half the crowd, half one for him, half for me, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so tell us about that. What do you mean by that then? Tell us properly.
No, I'm just saying when I fought Terry Morrill, he's got half his supporters, hasn't he?
So he was a Hull fighter, yeah?
Yeah, he's a Hull fighter, and I was fighting him for... he boxed for England as an amateur, Terry. But then I went to see my mate Nigel one time in this insurance place, and he said, you're fighting Terry Morrill, like you? I said, don't know, mate. He said, yeah, he's just been in here. He said, he's boxing at City Hall. He said he thinks he's a better boxer than you and faster. I said he won't be faster than me. And I stopped him in 8 rounds, didn't he?
Yeah. So, but So that was almost like a bit of a. Is that the photo from the fight actually behind you? Is that Terry Morrill fight?
Don't know. Don't think so. Don't know.
I thought it might have been, but
it won't be faster than me. I work for the council. We finish at 4:30 and I'm on by 2:30 every day.
How did that make you feel though? Like you're going into that fight with somebody, in your own city, and he's saying he's going to beat you, and he's faster than you. Does it wind you up? Does it get you up for it? Or?
Well, no. It's just, like you say, when you ask the lads in the gym now, they all sound real fast now. Nearly 54. I don't think you don't lose your speed in your arms. I don't think you lose on your legs.
Yeah.
You lose on your legs, but I don't think you lose them in your arms. But it's just Terry boxed for England as an amateur. He's a good boxer, Terry. So obviously it's going to be a hard fight.
Yeah,
but he's a great kid anyway.
And then going back,
but then I boxed for. Then he had another kid, Steve Pollard. The other kid was like Jamie Waters. And he was unbeaten from York, and I boxed him at top of the Villa City Hall again, and I put him down in the 2nd round, and ended up beating him on points.
Yeah. So did you always, in your career, you've won a lot in London. You always seem to do well in London. Would you say London for you actually felt more of an home ground than say Hull did? Yeah.
I got a lot of pals in London and a lot of fans, but that's the best place to box, London, without doubt. You get Bethnal Green, boxed there loads of times. I boxed at Wembley, Alexander Hall, Elephant and Castle. You know what I mean? It's a class place. But some of these old kids, they never box out of Hull.
Yeah.
Tommy, I don't think he's boxed in London much.
No, but he's boxed He's boxing. That was
no,
actually one of my
boxing
questions,
Madison
to be
Square
honest.
Garden, that, yeah,
That's
well,
what I've never really... You're not a jealous person. You aren't like that. You always want the lads to do well from Hull, aren't you? But I was saying to Tommy on Saturday, I said, I think the only time I've ever seen you get a bit jealous is when he got to fight in Madison Square Garden, because you always wanted to fight in America. You never did you?
yeah.
Would you say you?
No, I wouldn't have been jealous. I mean, I wouldn't have been jealous of Tommy doing that. Like you say, that would have been good. But I'm just saying, no. To be honest, it's never. I'm not being that trouble. I don't fight in America. To be honest. No. I mean, it'd be class fighting there, like his way he's boxed. I mean, it would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Oh, Caesar's Palace and all that. Yeah.
Because of your conviction, you're banned from America, though, aren't you? Never. You won't be going there anytime soon.
Yeah. I've been to the States a few times.
Go on then.
Orchard Park Estate, Brad's Overstate. That'll be all week.
So obviously we've just been talking about your British title fight. One of the biggest regrets. It's probably the biggest fight in boxing of your career, wasn't it? That British title fight.
Yeah.
Do you wish you had more big fights, more spectacles, more belts on the line? Do you wish, or was it not as easy to come by as it is now, or what do you think to it?
Well, no, it wasn't that easy to come back, but now they've got belts for everything, haven't they? You know what I mean? They're just making belts up. I mean, you got the English title belt, and then you get all these there's loads of belts, isn't there?
But there weren't as many back in the day when you was around.
No, there's every title belt. I got the British Masters belt. I won that, didn't I? But the British titles are main, whatever, European title, but they've got all these monkey version, WBU and all this in it.
Yeah.
There's so many belts now, aren't they?
Yeah. And in terms of, so obviously you went in for that British title fight. Wouldn't have been televised or anything, would it? Do you know?
I thought it would have been televised myself.
It would have been, yeah. Because like now it's a big, there's a big spectacle. Like, even like, say, where are you today doing this podcast? This is just through our, Free Tools Boxing. We are part of a big promotion company out like that. But yeah, we've got the privilege to be able to do this.
Yeah.
If you were fighting for a British title, how many years ago? They want all this around, was they? They want this. They want this promotion. They want this spectacle, was they? And do you wish you was in this modern era to be able to do all this type of stuff, or would you only want to be in the modern era for the money?
Well, I wish if I was starting out, what you know now, you'd be. I think I'd be British champion at least. You know what I mean? But what you know, you get like the right person looking after you.
Yeah, I'd say.
I mean, that's the thing with me. If I get my pro license in that, I think kids I'll train and I'll look after him.
Yeah. So you've got you've got a couple of the good young pros coming through Hull at the minute. You've got like Louis Sylvester. There was obviously sadly Conor Coggill just had to stop, hadn't he? He fought Opie Price, didn't he? And he's had the bleed on the brain.
Yeah.
But you've got Ted Jackson. I think he's in the England or GB squad. I think he's only a young kid. He's coming through. What tips would you give these type of fighters? What tips would you give them based off your career? What would you say to them?
Well, like you say, you got him coming through young England and all that, but it's like I boxed John Beckles. He was England WABA champion and all that, and I hadn't ever done out, and I stopped him as a pro.
Yeah.
So just because he's a box for England don't mean they're going to do out, you know what I mean?
No, but what tips and advice would you give them?
Well, just get with like the Eddie Haynes is someone decent, I'd have thought.
Somebody who'll, put some money, invest in you.
Yeah, you don't want to be with anyone and all or whatever. I think that you want to be with like some decent trainers. I don't think there's any. You want to be very or one or two top promoters. Yeah,
how do you think Curtis Woodhouse is doing at the moment? He's just had Adrian King have his first fight at City Hall. What do you make of that lad coming through and now Curtis manages him?
Well, I reckon Curtis will do a good job because, like I say, Curtis, he's the only one who's like won a British title, so he knows the score. And he's a good footballer, so I think Curtis will look after him. But the kid, he'll just need the right opponents to start warning. Just pick him up nice and easy. Could do to get one or two backers back in the kid.
Yeah. Do you feel that's where some of where Hull lets itself down a bit, that the big businesses don't get behind some of the fighters? I know obviously when you fought, I think you've had Napoleon's Casino, as a sponsor, as a backer for the last 20.
I've had some good sponsors. I've had MS Shipping, Rob Langton. I've had also Peacemaker. I've had loads of sponsors.
And were they what are they? Do you know that?
Mick Barbie from years ago used to sponsor my used class.
Yeah.
Oceanic in that. I got me a job on the dock when I was boxing. So, like I say, Napoleon's. I've had loads of sponsors.
But is it? Working with businesses, getting them deals? Are they massive help to a fighter in terms of the preparation or just the finance and being able to dedicate time to training rather than work?
You need time to train, yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel like the businesses in Hull should be doing a bit more for the fighters at the moment? Then,
well, it's up to them, and businesses aren't, innit? I mean, like you say, if I got my pro license and I have 1 or 2 kids, I'd even sacrifice my job just because I think I'd be all right training people to maybe earn as much, but I'd be in the gym in the morning with the kids and on the night, and I think I'd get by somewhere, but you just got to maybe sacrifice sometimes, don't you?
Another reason why, what I didn't touch on actually earlier regarding why we're doing the interview was I do feel sometimes, especially in the city, you've got these trainers, you've got these young pros coming through, and I don't think they really understand, the level you was at as a boxer. You're giving tips to lads in the gym, and they kind of think, oh yeah, what does he know, kind of thing. When you have gone toe to toe with some of the best names in boxing, hadn't you, at the time?
I used to train Prince Nassim. I used to spar Ben Kalzaki, training with him and that all the time. You know what I mean? I boxed Olympic gold medalist and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you say that but. Luke Campbell and people, they've fought some really good people.
I know they fought some, don't mean they're normal, is it?
Do you think they'd have had it harder?
Because they'd have been the Olympic camp, getting trained by someone like Robert McCracken, telling them what to do and all that lot. But it's just everyone's different, aren't they? You know what I mean? When we was training with that Brendan Ingle, we was like the first doing the body sparring. I started doing about 30 years in England. I mean, in Hull, 30 years ago. Then Brendan Ingle got them all switching, southpaw, then changing. No one done none of that.
No.
And he used to do a good thing on the back. He used to do his blows. When you finish training, we had to do our blows. That took you about 25 minutes where you just 10 jabs, left jabs, then 10 right jabs, then left, right, left dog, but changing styles. Some of these kids boxing, they can't even change styles because it's like a gift, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see the footwork. I mean, when I let that kid out, and they all start calling me fat bastard, it's like a skill. It's like a skill to do your feet like that. Or some people who are like wooden, when you get Bruno, you couldn't see Bruno doing something like that. They're like wooden. You learn stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like natural ability.
Yeah.
But I must admit, I see some kids, and all now. I see them sparring at the gym, and the talent what they got in all now, it's unbelievable. They'll have loads of champions coming up. You see I saw some kids sparring the other day, and I said, "Oh, where are you at?" He said, "Oh, this club," and they're only young, but they're brilliant. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's loads.
It is good that Hull has always been in the box.
But the other thing is, though, they can, like he says, they can keep amateur too long.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of them do. Because amateur clubs don't want to keep hold of them. But these kids, they want to be, if they got any, I mean, if, like you say, if they're going on the Olympic path, that's fair enough. But if not, they want to be turning, like that kid, Harvey Lambert, is it?
Harvey Lambert, yeah.
He seems a decent kid.
Yeah, he's been picked up by, I think he's on the Sky shows.
Well, he's a decent kid, him, yeah.
But then, because funny you should say that, because we were talking to George Groves earlier on in the year, weren't we?
Yeah.
You do your after dinner speaker. You got Ricky Hatton in March, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking to George Groves, and he said he'd been to Hull a few times with Luke, because he was in the Olympic setup.
Yeah, his pals were Luke.
But then I think it got to a point where George knew we'd gone as far as he could in that setup. And he wasn't going to, be a gold medalist. I think he just missed out. I think something happened, so he just missed out on the Olympic cycle.
Yeah.
He was going to have to wait another 4 years, so he just bit the bullet and went pro. And he said if he'd have waited any longer, you didn't think he'd have had the pro career he would have had. I think he just left at the right time.
Yeah,
So there's no, you're probably right. There's no point just staying in it for the sake of it. You've got to weigh up your options, haven't you? Luke obviously weighed his up and decided to stay.
Yeah,
Do you know, and it's been probably the best decision
he
he's ever
did
done.
it perfect, didn't he?
Yeah. So then, in terms of your fights, there's some really interesting fights here now. So then, after your defeat to Crawford Ashley in the British title fight, you didn't mess about and you went and fought Omar Shaker. So Omar Shaker was an American, wasn't he? He'd come over from America. He was 14-0 when you fought him.
He was trained by Mike Tyson's trainer, wasn't he?
Trained by Mike Tyson's trainer. He ended up fighting Calzaghe for the super middleweight world title, didn't he? So, do you want any thought for some other world titles as well? So, do you want to tell us about that fight with Omar Shaker then?
Yeah. I'm planning, to be honest, I'd have had about 10 pound in weight on him. You know what I mean? About 10 pound in weight on him. I'd been on the piss for about 3.5 weeks, and they said, well, they'll fight him. He offered me decent money, so I boxed him, and I beat him. He caught him with a body shot in maybe the last round, but I was just like boxed his head off, and then all the papers ringing me up, said, what was it like fighting Omar Shaker? I said it'd be an harder fight, Norman Simpson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you said the other
week.
He
had a bit of a moan in recent times as well. It wasn't years and years ago. I think that's one of his losses that pisses him off years later, because once you get beat, it's on your record, isn't it? You ain't going away.
Obviously, he'll most probably know that I've retired more men than Social Security.
I knew he was going to throw that in. Should be fine for doing that.
No, but what you want to tell him, because the weight I'd have been carrying, when you're overweight, it's a burden.
Well, I'm just going to...
it's a burden.
Tell me that in a sec, because I'm going to read out what he was quoted saying in recent times. I remember getting robbed very bad in England, he said. The guy, Tony Booth, never even showed up for the weigh-in. He came in at like 207 pounds, so I think that's 14.7
stone. No
14.7 stone. It was no surprise I couldn't knock him out. All that weight kept him up. You could see in the fight how heavy he was.
Yeah.
I also never knew at the time that the referee also judges the fight. I didn't realise that before the fight. That was crazy. We don't do that in America. So what did you think to his comments?
He's just a bad loser, isn't it? And it's lucky I can't go to America. Otherwise, I got out there and knocked him out. But just tell him if you want to come out over here and fight me somewhere. You know what I mean? Because obviously, when you have a weight, so it's like fat, and it's fat. So it's not. You're carrying the fat about with you. You're carrying it with you, so it's not doing you any favours, is it? So he's like burdening me. So he's. I mean, he wasn't that good anyway.
Yeah.
14-0, so he must have fought a lot of crap kids.
Yeah, but I think that's an issue with the American fights, isn't it? I think they can just churn out a load of crap, can't they, in America? Yeah. And they always end up coming over here 21-0 or the 15-0. I think Eddie Hearn, if you look at what Eddie Hearn's doing at the moment, I think he's building up a lot of South Americans, isn't he? I think.
Well, I boxed that Victor Cordoba, didn't I? He beat me on points, so lost a controversial decision to Michael Nunn. Yeah. And I'm sure if you put that Victor Cordoba in the room with that Omar Shaker, I think Victor Cordoba would have done a job on that Omar Shaker. So I don't think he's out.
Well, that's settled then. You can fight John Fury in Saudi, and the winner fights Omar Shaker.
Omar Shaker.
That's it. Can fight. That can be the.
No, he's too young, that Omar Shaker, to fight John. I'm over 50. I'm 54. John Fury said he's the fittest 50-year-old or something, but. I had the fittest, but I'm not so bad for my age, so I'll fight John.
Well, wouldn't you
fight? I'll have to put a bit of weight on to fight him.
Would you not fight Omar Shaker then? Too young for you now.
No, I'll fight him, on decent money though.
So there's, like you said earlier, the only person you wouldn't ever fight is Tyson Fury.
No, I won't fight anyone too tall. I won't fight on tall and just kept doing him.
Right, so you fought... this is not a big fight in your career, but when we was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, it was quite interesting. You said you fought Nigel Rafferty. I think you fought him about 100 times when you look at the box rec.
I think I fought him twice, haven't I?
It seems a lot more, but...
Yeah. Oh, he's quite tough journeyman, Nigel, but he starts biting you, nutting you and all that lot.
No way. So what do you do when...
I mean, my face got 1 or 2 knocks. I've never had my nose broken out, but I've got cauliflower ear. But Nigel, he's got he's took some stick, but he bites you and all sorts. So he's leaning on you, biting your shoulder and all that.
So what are you thinking when you're in the fight? You know, grappling and
Just like,
someone's biting
ref, you seen this? See, ref, what's going on? He's elbowing you and all sorts, but he's all right.
you? Yeah, at least you didn't get your ear bit off.
Yeah, oh yeah, like Holyfield.
Yeah.
I saw him. I was there when it happened. I said to him, "Do you want a drink?" He says, "No, I've got one here."
I hadn't actually heard that one. That's good from you.
I'm here all week.
So you've got so then you fight Nigel Rafferty, then you fight Michael Sprott. So was he the guy?
Michael Sprott knocked Tony Harrison out one round.
Yeah.
I fought Michael about 2 hours notice, yeah.
Yeah.
Went down, I can't think, it was near Alfreton or something, I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
Well, I boxed him and he beat me 6 or 8 rounds. Glenn McCrory was an Ian Dark doing the commentating. And I ain't even sure if I was on sick.
Yeah, wait, that's gone sick.
And they said, Tony Bull was feeling badly today, but he feels all right now. But he...
Didn't you have a theory about Audley Harrison there? And was he always getting knocked out in the first round or something?
Yeah, but you can't really say that. No, that's
Michael Sprott. Then it was Greg Briggs. That was for the English Masters title.
Oh, Masters title.
So is that photo of me on your knee then?
Yeah, that belt, yeah.
Nothing really noticeable happened in the fight though.
Well, yeah, Coach Lord got down for Mull and one of the kids before the fight got a bit pissed up and he jumped in the ring, running round the ring and all the bouncers were chasing him. This kid called Rico, he goes off his head a bit, this Rico. Then I eat him in like the second round, this Scott Briggs, and I did me hand in. My hand had gone second round, so I did like 8 rounds just using my right hand more or less. And I won on points. So.
Yeah. Didn't the coach leave somebody?
Oh yeah, Saad Abdul. Everyone will know Saad Abdul, the Aldens, and he missed the coach back to hold the donut.
So then I think you then fought Dominic Negus.
Yeah, he was in the book, one of the hard bastards. Dominic, he's
what was it? He was like an enforcer,
wasn't he? But he's good. Yeah, he's a good boxer. He fought Audley Harrison. I think he got disqualified for nutting him or something.
Oh wow! Yeah, but you beat him, didn't you?
Yeah, I beat him, but he's a real nice kid, Dominic. Yeah. I think he's fallen a bit of hard times, bit of something, but he's a nice kid.
Then you fought Denzel Brown.
Yeah, mentioned.
So you mentioned that that was where he got cut in both eyes.
Yeah, both eyes. Yeah.
And then mentioned about the Terry Morrell fight. What I found really interesting, going back to obviously you won them. You suddenly changed. You become a family man. You won 12 fights in a row. You got your British title shot. It just shows, if you applied yourself and you put the work in, it'd be a totally different type of career, because then you fight Enzo Maccanelli, don't you? So there's 2 fights with Enzo. So tell us what happens in the first one.
Well, the first fight, you see one of the Kawasaki Bills, and when I fight in Enzo, there's 10,000 people there. So I go in there and he's knocking everyone out, and they're all booing me and all that, and I'm done my alley shuffle and all that, and and I'm just like loving it. Anyway, it beats me on points, and I get like standing ovation and that. Then the next time I fight him, another Kawasaki Bill, I come on, I'm fighting him, and I'm like last on, and there's about 200 people in the crowd, so I get beat in the first round. You know what I mean?
So basically, you said you just thought, I can't beat it. You've had that eye of being in front of 10,000 people, putting a show on.
I'm getting the same money, and I can't be asked. I thought, well, I ain't going anywhere, am I?
So you just took a knee almost, said.
Yeah.
And then, so that's what I mean. Obviously, it just shows if your head was in it, you could apply yourself, couldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
So then you fought Huey Doherty.
Yeah, Huey Doherty. I think that was it. Is that Elephant and Castle or somewhere in London?
I'm not sure. Yeah, but was that another save in the show?
That's. I think. I mean, your mum was in bed and they rang us up, and I had to go down there about 10:30 or something in the morning to London and saved the show because his opponent pulled out, and I boxed him and I got beat on points.
But then what we're gonna do? We've got 2 really You've got 2 interesting fights here. Then David A. So your next fight was against a young David A. It was his first ever fight, wasn't it? David
Pro
A's
fight.
Yeah, it was his first ever pro fight, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I met David A when I boxed Ralph Rocciani in Germany. 'Cause I got a photo of him. But they rang me up knowing I'd fight him. I said I ain't fighting. I mean, I wanted his weight and I won't fit. But then they offered me so much money, so I boxed him. And he put me down in the first round. I had a bit of a go in the second round and I got pulled out in the third round.
Yeah.
I think I damaged my toe like he did.
So then, obviously, he said, but he saw you at a boxing do about a couple of years ago, didn't he? And got a photo put on Instagram, so you was his first opponent. But at the time, he said he was really disappointed, for his first fight to be over that quick. But,
yeah, they most probably wanted to stop me, didn't he? But I got pulled out then.
Yeah, but do you sometimes feel that these debut fighters, they do want to show up a journeyman, and sometimes it can go the wrong way, can't it? If the journeyman.
Yeah, it can do. Yeah. If they don't all get easy fights all the time, innit?
Yeah. So then you actually fought. You actually fought in Africa for this one. You fought Mohamed Bengoussi Samia. I can't pronounce that.
Algeria.
Yeah, you actually fought in Algeria. So tell us about that. Then you actually when you arrived, you got a bit of a presidential escort, didn't you? It was like.
Well, I had like bodyguards and that, innit?
So did they all have? Was they all multiple cars? Did they all have big guns and stuff like that?
They had a
Machine
few,
gun.
but we had like bodyguards and that. But it's a bit dodgy over there. But then I was with our trainer from London. He was alright, Alan Smith. He talked to a good. No, I mean he was alright, Alan. But he when we got in the ring, they all started doing slit throat like that. And he started shitting himself and that. And he says, Tam, you got to lose, Tam. So then I go in there boxing. And I'm jabbing the kid and all his eyes going red.
Was this I think it was Commonwealth title, this one?
No, this one.
No, it wasn't. No.
So I'm just jabbing him and all his eyes going red. But these are doing all this lot. And I thought, so with that, I go on the ropes. I let him hit me for ages. Don't. So I go down on one knee. And when you get up about 8, 9, they usually stop it. So I got up at 8 and 9. He said, carry on. So I carried on fucking boxing again because he's panicking, the trainer. You know what I mean? Without it.
So what were they? So there were literally people in the crowd.
All doing
and
that.
Even one of the promoters who just met beforehand was then doing that to you?
No, he wasn't doing it.
Right.
No, the promoter. He had like gold teeth, and he says to me, you want woman, I get you woman. You know what I mean? I said, no, you're all right. It's like one of them Sinbad movies, when you get like Sinbad and all, like.
No, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
No, one of them old films in that,
So there was all doing this in the crowd. Were you scared then?
Well, I'm just fighting, aren't I? So you just
because didn't the British Embassy was it?
I got advised not to go.
Yeah, he got told not to go.
But then so with that, I go back to the corner. He goes, Tam, you got to lose, Tam. So so I go out next. Then he starts hitting me. I cover up. He throws a towel in.
So he was more scared than you.
Then after that, when they're all doing that, after the fight, they're taking you into this room. And there's a big birthday cake. 'Cause it's my birthday as well on the same day. I've got a big fucking birthday cake. So 1 minute
they were threatening you.
So 1 minute they've gone like that. I'm thinking, next minute I have my birthday cake. You know what I mean?
What an experience that is. This is what I mean. Like at the start of the interview, I said,
this is a unique. They should make a movie of you on Netflix.
Yeah. It is like, so it's like I just don't think over the next 50, 100 years, I don't think there'll be a character in boxing like you, really. Yeah. And that's what I want people to realise with this interview. So then we'll just cover one more fight and then we'll leave it there for today because, like I said, we're gonna do a couple, aren't we? And
you got the one in Nigeria, haven't you?
Yeah. So this is the last fight. So you actually got a Commonwealth title shot in Nigeria, didn't you, against Bash Ali? Do you want to tell us about that then?
Yeah. Oh, well, they said it was like a WW wild title fight or something. I don't know. What
But he was
happened
on
there,
he was on all the meat. That was one fight where we spoke about earlier about media coverage and all that. That was one fight where he was on the telly and all sorts. But in Nigeria,
Oh yeah,
wasn't he?
Nigeria. I think I was on.
Was it in Lagos he fought?
Lagos? Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to Nigeria, you get all the women hanging about. You know what I mean? But you, so you get. It's funny when you're in Lagos. You get all the people that like carrying tellies and all sorts under their arms and all that. You get all the yellow buses. You know what you see like in America and that.
Yeah.
And so we had to do a TV thing on a night. TV like interview or something.
Because it was billed as, I don't know if, I can't remember if I've got mixed up, but I'm sure that they just had a war there, and I think they just had some peace. It was billed as this big event, wasn't it? Do you know, this big...
Yeah, sure, but anyway, so everywhere I was going, oh, Tony Boot. I said, hey, it's Tony Bove. I said, it's Tony Bove, not Tony Boot. So anyway, we'll come out with this TV thing, what we're being on. And I fall down this ditch, and I've injured my leg and all that. They said, "Oh, we'll put the fight back a couple of weeks." I said, "You can't put the fight back." I said, "I'm only on sick for a week." You know what I mean? So I was working at hygienic kitchens or something. So anyway, then there's supposed to be a bit corrupt, you know, the police there.
Yeah.
But we'd already been paid before we went there.
Yeah.
We'd already been paid or something. I think we had to get about 1,500 quid or something when we was getting there. So the next day, so I'd been on the telly and all this. I was like David Beckham. Everywhere you go, oh, Tony Boots. So anyway, we're in this car one time. There's me, my trainer, and the chaperone.
Yeah.
And next minute he says, oh, the police are stopping us. I've got $800 or something down my sock. They said, oh, we've been down a one-way street. You've gone down this one-way street and they want $100. I want $100 off you. I said, not getting no money off me. So I got fucking $100. But I had 800 in my sock. He says, oh, well, they're going to have to take you back to the station. I said, you can take, I said, oh, you, instead of going to the fight? I said, well, I ain't bothered. I've been paid for the fight. I said, I've been paid for the fight. I ain't bothered. I said, take me to the station then. So they take us back to the station. Then they see the big police. And the big
police chief on it.
The big police chief. Then he comes out and he goes, Tony Boot. So he just lets us go straight away.
So then what was the fight actually like then? Was it in front of a lot of people?
There was a few there, yeah. But
was it like a stadium or?
Yeah, there's a few there, but I think I was like under orders not to beat him, you know. He's a bit funny. He's all a bit dodgy, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. So what was the fight like? How did you find him as a fighter?
I found him all right, but it's
tell us a bit more. Go on.
I can't really remember that much about the fight now, to be honest.
No.
It's getting on a bit now, isn't it?
Must have hit you with a couple of punches then.
Yeah, might have done. Yeah, so it was all right though. Good times.
Yeah. So do you know, in terms of today, then we'll cut it there. Do you know, do a couple of these. We've still got your Chisora fight to look forward to and stuff like that. And then do you know what happened after boxing? Which, do you know, people know about. We'll talk more in detail about that, and we might talk about, obviously we haven't touch base about, do you know, some of the friends you had in London and what you got up to down there, and even like, do you know, your relationship with Devilfish and stuff like that. We could cover all that another time. But
good pal of mine in London as well, Steve Olling, that, innit?
Yeah, but how have you found it today? How have I done as an interview? What you scored me out?
Yeah, you've done well. You've got all the good facilities, haven't we?
In it creative, thank you. Yeah,
creative, yeah. Two good lads here and that.
Yeah, but what?
Three lads. Three, yeah.
But how have you found it then? So how have you found?
Yeah, it's good. But next time, just make sure I get a bit more coffee and tea in a cup, like half cups. Adam, when he gives you half a cup of coffee, like, you know what I mean. Come to our house, Adam, I'll do you proper cup.
But then, how have you found? Have you enjoyed talking about, you know, your career?
It's all right. It's all right. It's been good talking to you, because I know a few lasses has told me before, you're right boring bastard, but you.
Yeah. Right, well, cheers, Dad. Thanks anyway.
Right, son. My pleasure.
Smash it. Cheers.
That was right, wasn't it? Woo! Is that right? Next time I'll bring a flask.
Got a little